If you're building a camper trailer, well, you need a trailer. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my trailer and a lot of mistakes that I made and things that I would like to change if I ever do it again. And also, I'm going to keep the list of good and bad on the screen. When I first started looking into which trailer to use, I was looking at utility trailers. Then I started thinking about I want this wheel, this tire, I may want this axle, and got to the point I should really start with a custom trailer. Also, custom trailer will give me more freedom on the dimensions that I can use. Speaking of dimensions, I really needed this camper to be as compact as possible because I will be storing this inside of the one car side of the garage, and then I also need extra space in that part of the garage for my shop as well. With that, let's measure my trailer. This is probably the best part of my design of my trailer. Here you can see it's the front section of the tongue is removable, and one reason is so that I can shorten the overall length when I store in the garage and by about 30 inches, and the second reason is for security. And when I'm in the camp and if I have to leave the trailer, I'll just take this removable section with me, and camper will be left without a coupler, and it's going to make it a little bit harder to steal. Okay, let's cover material size that I used. For the outer frame, which is highlighted in red, I went back and forth between 2x2 11 gauge and 2x3 14 gauge, but I ended up going with 2x3 14 gauge because it's a little bit lighter and a little bit sturdier. But that turned out to be a problem, because it made the floor 1 inch higher off the ground than I wanted. For the cross member that are in blue, I used 2x2 by 1/8 inch angles. At the tongue that are in yellow, I used 2x2 and 11 gauge 2 members. At the very tip of the tongue, there is 2-inch trailer hitch receiver tubing that is 24 inches long. Here you see my axle and hub setup, and this is one of the big mistakes I made. That's the aluminum spacer that you see that's attached to the hub, and that is to bring the surface of hub further out from the trailer so the tire wouldn't hit the wall. Also, at the same time, brake mounting plate is in the wrong place, and matter of fact, it hit the bottom of the wall when I hit the big pothole one time. So right now, with the spacer installed, everything is okay. I can use it now, but at some point I would like to either replace the axle or modify the existing one to extend it, and so that I wouldn't have to use the spacer, and also install the brake. And here's another mistake I made. That's a 2 leaf string bracket that I attached. One on the left is original, and obviously this is the current one. And I originally had the axle way too far back. In these pictures you can see how much I had to bring the axle to the front, and that's about 8 to 10 inches, and that's all due to the weight distribution. Original location made the tongue weight way too high. The best way to find out about weight balance of your trailer is get it weighed, and I did it twice, once in about halfway through the build and another one at the end. If you go through a scale at the truck stop, you should get 2 pieces of paper, and the one is the initial weigh and another one is reweigh. What you do is, if you go there should be multiple scale, and there's position 1, 2, and 3, and maybe more, but you park your tow vehicle in a scale 1 and trailer in scale 2. At the initial weigh, you leave your trailer hooked up to your tow vehicle and park it, and then call the weightmaster through your intercom system. And once he got it weighed, you pull your trailer and a vehicle out and then go inside, and typically you just have to pay your fee there. Once your initial weight is registered, you go back out to the scale and you go through the reweigh. This time you unhook your trailer from a tow vehicle and park your car or tow vehicle in the scale 1 and trailer on scale 2, and go through, you call in the weigh master and all that, and then go back and get your second piece of paper. Your trailer weight is the reweigh when you weigh your camper by itself, and in my case the drive axle line, which is 980 pounds. The tongue weight is the difference between the weight of your tow vehicle on the two-way. In my case is 3800 versus 3600, so 200 is the tongue weight. The percentage of tongue weight that you're trying to keep is somewhere between 10% to 15%, and my first weigh, mine is over 20%, so that tells me I had the tongue weight way too high. And this is the reason that I decided to modify my axle location and move it forward 8 to 10 inches. And this is my second weigh at the end of my build, and you can see the trailer weight is 1400 pounds, which is a little higher than I wanted, but you can see the tongue weight now is 160 pounds and the ratio is down to 11.4%, so I'm happy about that. Now let's talk about tires. This is a tire that I'm using. It's ST tire, which indicates that it's for trailer, and 215, which is at the width of the tire, and the R14, and that's the diameter of the wheel. And I should really gone with the 205 tire instead of 215, which is a narrower tire, and that would have been lighter, and also the overall diameter would have been about 26 inches instead of 26 and a half of what I have. Originally, I had a weight to mount the spare tire at the tongue of the trailer frame. I thought that was a good idea, but then I realized I had to, 1, purchase the spare tire, that's added cost, and 2, that would add weight to the front of the trailer, that's going to be added to the tongue weight, so I really basically just ditched the idea. Instead, I'll be using the spare tire from a tow vehicle, and what you're seeing there, that's a spare tire from a Subaru Outback, and it's really, the size-wise, very similar to the trailer tire that I have. And really, I don't think I will get into the situation where my tow vehicle and the trailer will have a flat tire or a tire problem at the same time. And if I do, then I just have to call for the help. Here is the shot of stabilizer that I'm using. This is a flip out telescoping stabilizer, and I have mounted 4 of them mounted at each corner of the trailer, and each is rated at 1,000 pounds. Here's something that you can learn from my mistake, and this stabilizer is stabilizer. It's not a jack. You're not supposed to use it to lift up a corner of a trailer to level the trailer. It's just there to stabilize, so don't make a mistake of trying to jack up the trailer with these stabilizers. Here is my safety cable. I decided to use the cable instead of chain, but this is very heavy duty safety cable. Here's a shot of my under the door storage. You can see it's just about big enough to put a shoes and maybe 2 pairs, and also wanted to make the door for that storage to flip out and become a step for kids to climb into the camper. This is where my 1 gallon propane tank is mounted. This mount is removable, so I can remove it if I don't need propane. So here's a summary for you. The first thing is the axle size. You make sure you account for the wall thicknesses, how that is attached to the trailer, And trailer balance, you know, where you put your axle. And number three, you know, so to kind of go with number two, just make sure, you know, weigh your trailer as you build it, and that's going to help you kind of solidify how your balance is going to be. And number four is your tires. Make sure you select the tire that's going to fit your style. Is it off-road, on-road, long distance on interstate, or is it just locally used on a very short distance? And number five is security. You know, it's always good to think about how you may, you know, keep your trailer secured. And